is just a huge honor for me today to be podcast interviewing Ben Goldberg all the way from, you're in what, New York City right now?
We are downtown New York City.
In Manhattan. And by the way, New York City is a myth. There's actually no such thing as New York City because I've never met anyone who's from New York City. I say, are you from New York City? They go, no, I'm from Brooklyn. Are you from New York City? No, I'm from Manhattan. Are you from New York City? No, I'm from the Bronx. I'm from Queens. So New York City basically doesn't even exist, does it?
Yeah, I think that's true. I think New York City is made up.
No one will ever say, I'm from New York City. So Ben Goldberg is the founder and CEO of Goby, Goby.com. Is it .com or .co?
.co.
And what's the difference between .co and .com?
We couldn't get .com, so we got .co.
Oh, I see. So it's just a different what is it called? Domain name?
Exactly.
Okay. You're the founder and CEO of Goby.co. After graduating from college in 2008 from the greatest university in the world, Arizona State University, where we both went, Ben spent 6 years working in the finance world. Growing restless, Ben left finance to go travel the world. After returning from traveling, Ben noticed the pain point he was experiencing was something many of his friends also experienced. In short, Ben was frustrated with how expensive premium oral care products cost. Everything from the replacement brush heads to the expensive handles that regularly broke. To solve this problem, Ben launched Goby with the goal of making premium oral health care more accessible. Goby is a new oral care brand launched in 2016. Goby sells a premium electric toothbrush paired with a brush head subscription, lifetime guarantee, and sold at half the price of the competition. Goby has been featured everywhere from Dentaltown, GQ, Vogue, and the New York Times. By the way, can you get me on the cover of Vogue? I want to be the forced, short, fat, bald grandpa that makes the cover of GQ.
I'll see what I could do.
You'll see what you can do. Goby, tell them I'm open to Photoshop. Goby sells directly to consumers through their website, Goby.co, and partners with forward-thinking dentists across the country. So, when I first saw this, I thought, well, my four-finger test was when you come out with a new company, it's got to be faster, easier, higher in quality, lower in cost. Mm-hmm. And you seem to cover all those deals. But it made me think also the Dollar Shave Club. It's kind of a similar deal. I mean, the shavers went through some nuclear race build up on how many blades they can get on a shaver, and they drove up the cost of a shaver to insane levels. But when you look at professionals who shave people for a living, they only use one blade. Mm-hmm. And that shave, what was it called? Shavers Club or the Dollar Shave Club. So is this kind of what you were doing? Is this kind of like a Dollar Shave Club play on electric toothbrushes?
Yeah, there's a lot of similarities, and I was actually a customer of a similar Dollar Shave Club. It's called Harry's Razors. Same idea, where it's more affordable razors sent to you on subscription. And so as a customer of that, realizing the pain points that I was going through and seeing the similarities where, in both of these industries, it's dominated by two large players. It's usually the customer that loses out. So in the razor industry, it's Gillette and Schick. You have these overpriced razors. And then the electric toothbrush industry, there's two guys. I can't remember the names at the moment, but
what are their names? Oral-B?
Yeah, that's one of them.
Oral-B. Who would the other one be?
Sonicare would be the other one.
Oral-B and Sonicare. And batteries is the same way. There's only what are the two batteries?
Duracell and Energizer, is that the two?
Yeah, and what's amazing is I've seen so many studies showing that with all the billions of dollars of advertising those guys done, there's still mass confusion in the marketplace between those two places. I mean, it's basically the same color, same packaging. I mean, so when they go up and say which one, but anyway. So yeah, so Gillette and Schick, razors are very expensive, batteries are incredibly expensive. And Oral-B and Sonicare, so you're less money than Oral-B and Sonicare?
Sure. So our brush kit starts at $50. And then, so that's half the price of the average electric toothbrush. And same thing goes for the replacement brush heads. They're $6 each. And those get shipped directly, when you sign up for the subscription, get shipped directly to your door, includes free shipping. All our brushes come with a lifetime guarantee. We really want to make sure our customers have the best experience possible.
So obviously you don't make an electric toothbrush. How did you find someone to make you an electric toothbrush?
It is our own design. So we have our own product team, and we worked also with some really talented industrial designers and spent about 2 years in designing the product itself. We worked closely with dentists and making sure it was something that they would feel comfortable or recommend. It also does the job, but also consulting with research that's out there today that does a really good job of identifying what's of value and really what's just a marketing gimmick.
Wow, so that is amazing. So I feel like I should turn into Shark Tank right now. I should turn into Mark Cuban, pretend I'm own the Mavericks.
Are you investing at the end of the show? Is that what's going to go out here?
Yeah. Let's. This is a very interesting story. I mean, that seems like a lot of money. Did you have to get investors for this? Did you go on Shark Tank or to friends and family, or how did you do this journey?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So to get it going, I used my own money that I'd saved up from working in finance, and then early on to move things along further, we raised a small amount of money from some friends and family, and then right around when we were going to launch, we brought on some real investors who, the reason they got on board was the problem that we identified was something that absolutely resonated with them, and they saw the pain points and they were experiencing it. And a lot of these guys are really experts in our main investors are experts in the selling direct to consumer space. So they invest in companies like Birchbox and Casper and Everlane and Warby Parker. So there's been they had a lot of great insight, and they were some of our early investors.
My homies are listening right now. They're commuting to work. That's what 85% of them are doing. The other 15% are the poor bastards on the treadmill. So they follow me at Howard on Twitter at Howard Farran, and I just retweeted your at Goby HQ. I imagine that's for headquarters. What is Goby HQ? What is it? Goby Gobyhu. Where did Goby come from?
That is my favorite question. So Goby, it's a little fish, and specifically specifically the neon goby. It's known as the dentist of the sea because it's this little fish that goes around and cleans the mouth of larger fish.
No kidding, Ryan. Find that on Goby is a fish. You said it's a fish. He goes around cleaning.
He sets up shop and he finds his little spot in the ocean and swims in a little zigzag pattern to bring bigger fish over, letting them know they're ready to clean.
Wow, and I like the black brush. So how many different I like that picture. She's got it by a passport. It's Bethany Looi, Looi. She says, "Loving the look of my new Goby toothbrush." So how many is fashion a big part of that? I imagine with women everything's fashion. So do you have different electric toothbrushes and looks for your female consumer who is into all that?
Sure. So when we launched, we had 4 of our main colors. Actually, here's our orange one. And we have 4 variations. I imagine your listeners can't see it, but we have 4 variations of that standard color. And then about 3 months ago, we launched our all black toothbrush. And that one has been just flying off the shelves. We've been having trouble keeping that one in stock just because of the reception, and it's been so amazing. To your point, when we launched it, it got picked up by Vogue. And it's just something everyone's been going crazy over.
Wow. So now what should dentists and hygienists think about this? First of all, the question is, do you think electric toothbrush is better at plaque removal than toothbrush? I mean, in my thoughts, obviously, if I had to cut a table in half, I would rather use a power saw than a hand saw. I mean, that just sounds amazing. I'm also down here in Phoenix, Arizona, which is a retirement place for everybody west of the Mississippi. Everybody on your side of the Mississippi goes to Florida, and everybody on the west side of the Mississippi, from North and South Dakota and Montana and Minnesota, Canada. Do you know 10% of Phoenix in the winter is from Canada? And so my practice is probably 30% senior citizens, snowbirds, things like that. And you look at their swollen hands. You look at their rheumatism, you look at their joint pain, and grabbing onto a manual toothbrush and really, making a lot of, I mean, that just doesn't work. And I think a lot of dentists, especially younger dentists, don't realize that, electric toothbrush is just better than a manual toothbrush. But is that supported in the research? I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so that's a great question. And our view is you could do a pretty good job with the manual toothbrush, and people like you and all your listeners probably do an amazing job, but you guys are literally the experts when it comes to brushing your teeth. And people like myself, not an expert, and I would go to the dentist and would have whatever issue, gums that may have bled too easily, or a number of other issues, and that comes out of the bad brushing habits. And electric toothbrushes fix a lot of those common mistakes, whether it's not brushing for long enough. People think brushing for 20 seconds does the job, and the reality is you need to do a little bit, spend a little more time, or using incorrect technique, or not focusing on your entire mouth, just doing a single quadrant. That's where Goby comes in and fixes those common issues, and it really delivers a better cleaning experience. Now, if you want to dig in further, there was a study conducted by the Cochrane Institute, and they went through something like 50 trials over the last 20 years, and they concluded that rotationally oscillating brush heads have consistently shown to be more effective than any other type of toothbrush. So that's the same type of motion that Goby uses. We also only use soft bristles, no medium or hard. And then one of the also really big value points of what we offer people is our subscription service that solves the problem of people not changing their brush heads frequently enough. On average, we've seen the research we saw showed that people change their brush heads every 9 months. Our subscription solves that, and our customers love that component of the business.
Well, I have to tell you that at 54 years of life, I have never been in any other person's bathroom in my entire life, and their toothbrush was completely non-working, bristles frayed. I mean, some of these toothbrushes look like, my God, did you loan this to a mechanic? Has he been cleaning out carburetors with this thing? I mean, it's not even close. It's not like you're holding the toothbrush up and saying, because with bristles, it's really bizarre. They almost have to be perfectly straight to pry the plaque off. And when they just slightly fray at all, the research shows that they don't work nearly as well. Yet when you go into people's bathroom, the bristles look like a monsoon just hit the beach, and there's palm trees everywhere. I mean, it's not even close. And you go in there, and they come out. I say, hey, I know you guys will use that brush for another year or so. I want you to know I threw all the ones away that do nothing. So, if you're going to brush with that, just put some toothpaste on your finger and rub it around, because nothing's happening. So I really love this subscription ad, because I bet you most Americans, they're going to get them in the mail. They paid for them, so they're going to go switch them out because they're never going to do it for any other reason, because that's not their core competency. That's not their expertise. They're not aware that their bristle is not working anymore. So I think that's a huge plus.
Yeah, and what we found is that people aren't inherently against changing their brush heads. You just don't know, right? It's a guessing game. You have these like little blue indicator bristles, but it's not actually supposed to be when they're completely gone and there's always a little blue left. It's when it's actually, like halfway, and that's imperfect too, because depending on the toothpaste you use, that can wear it down quicker. And this just, like I said earlier, it just solves it, right? Like, and people love it. And they want to be changing their brush heads more frequently. They just don't think about it. It's just not top of mind.
So you're also obviously to start a new company, a new brand, to get picked up in GQ and Vogue and all the other magazines I've been on the cover of. But your marketing expertise, you're talking about Goby Dental Portal, the perfect partner for your practice. Ask how you can help. How can this Goby.co drive new patients to any of my homies listening to you today?
That's a great question. So we've been partnering with a lot of new dentists, a lot of these forward-thinking dentists who use Goby as almost like a new patient promotion or welcome to the practice. And it's really elevating the experience for their patients, both in the office and then when they leave. And it's a great way of building word of mouth and getting more positive reviews on the practice. One thing that we also offer some of our partners is the ability to print the practice information on the back of the brush, and it's just a much more elevated version of the cheap manual toothbrush that you would historically give away.
So how do they find out more about this?
So you could go to our website, the Goby.co, and then there's a link to dentist on there. Or you can shoot me an email directly. My email is ben@goby.co, and we're happy to help out. We've been partnering with dentists all over the U.S., and it's really been a great partnership. We offer for our consumers what we think is a really affordable price point, but on top of that, we have additional professional pricing that we offer our dental partners.
Nice. So this is going to make premium oral care more accessible. So what is it? Are you going to do any other oral care products? I mean, I'm sure Mark Cuban will be asking you, is this the start and end all, or what would be down the line? Would you?
Yeah, so it's a great question. So on the consumer side, we'll be releasing additional products. Like, our customers are asking for us to launch things like toothpaste, and so we're working on other products like that, where we really want to make sure we're delivering a great product and great experience. So there are additional products like that. And then on the dental side, we want to continue to build out ways that we can help those practices out. And one of the new features that we are adding to our site is a way for the practice to we give the practices their patients their first brush head free. So it's like it feels really special coming from the practice. But we want to find other ways of helping them build or grow their practice, and we're building up different pieces of that portal over time too. So we just want to be a really value-added partner to your listeners.
So it sounds like you want to work mostly with the dentist as opposed to retailers like Walmart and Target and Walgreens and.
Yeah, today those aren't stores we're interested in. For us, it's really, we want to have as direct of relationships as possible. So through our website, it's great because we're able to interact directly with our customers if they ever have any issues, or with dentists or orthodontists or any dental professionals. Again, we have these very personal relationships. And as you start going through these other channels, you lose those personal relationships, but then there's also additional markups that are going to make the products more expensive, and so we're trying to avoid that today.
So yeah, I mean, that's a big Mark Cuban question. I mean, he wants to invest in people online, direct to the consumer. He doesn't want to go the retail route.
Sure.
I mean, that's a huge extra added cost. I mean, the only secret to lower price is lower cost. By not having a middleman, by disintermediating the middleman, you lower your costs. Does that mean you also probably don't want to go through Amazon?
That's not something we want to work with today. Again, it's the same point, is by going through those other channels.
And what do those channels usually mark up on a product? Like if you were going to go through Walmart or Walgreens or Amazon, what kind of margins, what would that do to your costs? What do you think they would mark it up at?
I'm not sure, to be honest. I think traditional markups are anywhere from like 30 to 50%, and it's not an insignificant amount. And so for us, we're really focused on being able to deliver the best price and best value for our partners and customers.
Yeah, and toothpaste is a bizarre thing, because when you look at the research, the research is clear with dry brushing. I mean, if you brush properly for 2 minutes, you don't need any tooth. If you have soft, straight bristles and you brush for 2 minutes, you remove the plaque. The toothpaste, but the consumers don't like dry brushing because they like whiter, brighter, sexier. They wake up with morning breath, and they want to have the morning breath go away.
Sure.
So it's almost like the flavoring agents and the zing and the Listerine or whatever is they're trying to get rid of morning breath. Is what I'm trying to say. Yeah. And but I've noticed a lot of the consumers in my office, like the ones that try to go natural, like Uncle Tom's Natural. They don't realize that that's owned by one of the largest toothpaste companies in the world. And they sit there and say, well, how is this natural? Because the natural crowd wants 5 ingredients or less, and they want to know what all the ingredients are. And then you go to like Uncle Tom's, and it's all a whole list of all these chemicals. And so it's just you can't have a toothpaste play with a bunch of chemicals on the side of your deal if you're playing to the Uncle Tom's all natural. Well, all natural doesn't have it should have to be a biochemist to know what's in the all natural.
Sure.
So the toothpaste, my advice would be, you got to keep it to 5 ingredients or less, and all the ingredients have to be things that sound natural.
Yeah. What kind of toothpaste do you use today?
What do I use?
Yeah.
God, I just use what are we using right now? Colgate Total. I mean, my biggest my biggest hatred of the toothpaste still is those unscrew lids. The cap on the toothpaste, and they always clog up, and you always squeeze, and it's like they're just such junk. But I got that new type. What was that new type there? Can you go grab it there? I got a new type, and I've been using this new type for the 2 reasons. Number one, I don't think the toothpaste matters at all. In fact, I know it doesn't. Dry brushing is all you need. But I like this new dispenser of how it comes out soft and it hasn't clogged up one time. And the crust and the Colgates, I mean, especially the crust for kids and all the sparkle crap. Yeah, so I've been using this. I've been using Mint. Here it is. Mint Smile.
Oh, interesting.
Mint Smile by Power Mint, because I have this flip-off cap, and look at that. There's no crap. But the Colgate and the crust, I mean, it's just always, I always got to take toilet paper off the toilet roll and take off some dried, crusty goober crap, and then it's crusting inside the tube. I mean, it's just not made to come out.
Sure. That's we'll definitely keep that in mind as we develop our toothpaste.
And also, I was involved heavily in 1989 and just a few years ago on fluoridating the Phoenix water. And 1/4 of Phoenix think that fluoride is toxic. It's a communist plot. It's just bad. And I see the same thing in toothpaste. So if I came out with a toothpaste, I would have an all-natural toothpaste that didn't have fluoride in there. And if that upset dentists, I would just say, well, first of all, you don't need any toothpaste to remove the plaque to cause the gum disease, so it's all a wash anyway. But the research is clear that if you brush with a fluoridated toothpaste, children have something like 26% less decay or something like that. So there is, for children brushing with a fluoride toothpaste, they have less decay. But I believe that 1/4 of Americans want an all-natural toothpaste without fluoride, and 3 out of 4 want fluoride. And at the end of the day, they all just want whiter, brighter, sexier teeth. But I would have an all-natural without fluoride, because that is 1/4 of the market. And when you look at the country as 325 million people, shit, 1/4 of the market. I mean, what's 1/4 of 325 million? Here, I'll find out what it is. I have this new app on my phone that has a calculator. 325 million times 0.25. That's 81 million people. Well, shit, if 81 million people don't think fluoride is a communist plot, I mean, as their healthcare provider, I can't change your mind in religion, politics, or fluoride. I mean, there's many things. I mean, hell, in my own family, I mean, there's just many things you just agree to disagree on. But if you're a dentist and you're not going to use this toothpaste because it has fluoride in it, well, then I got to help you. And that means I need to come out with a toothpaste that doesn't have fluoride in it. Yeah, that's just... just like the people that are against fluoridated water, I tell them, well, then don't drink the Phoenix water. Don't drink out of a garden hose. Go get bottled water. I drink bottled water, but the reason I'm so adamant about water fluoridation is because the poor people who can't afford bottled water, they're the ones that can't afford dental insurance. They're the ones that can't afford a root canal and a crown. So if you're middle class, quit bitching about water fluoridation. Just go buy your bottled water, because if I come back to you and say, well, can I raise your taxes to provide free dentistry for the poor? They say, hell no. And I say, okay, well, $1 per person for water fluoridation will prevent a cavity per person, and a cavity per person is at least $150. So if you're not going to pay for the $150 cavity to be filled with a filling, well, then pay for $1 to put the water in the fluoride per person. So middle class and rich in Phoenix. I mean, hell, the Phoenix water tastes like garbage. It tastes like it came out of the sewer. I mean, really, I grew
Yeah.
in Kansas where the water out of the garden hose tastes as good as the bottled water here. But the
Yeah.
Phoenix water comes on a canal all the way from the Colorado River up by a big Hoover Dam in Las Vegas. By the time it gets here, it tastes like, it's just.
I don't remember it being particularly clear when I was out there.
Yeah, well, how did you get out to ASU? Because you were born in Rutherford, New Jersey, which is what, right across from Manhattan on the New Jersey side.
Uh-huh. Yep,
So how
right.
did you get all the way out to ASU?
That's a good question. So I wanted to, coming out of high school, I wanted to go to a big school somewhere far away, somewhere different, and just be exposed to a lot of new experiences. And ASU fit that description, and made my way out to the desert and enjoyed my 4 years out there. I fortunately or unfortunately never spent any summers when I was when I was going to ASU. I usually had some internships, so I missed the full summer experience. But I was there in August and get to feel the heat then.
So, I always thought the funniest thing about New Yorkers is when they come out to the Valley, they always love Scottsdale. And if they're not from New York or New Jersey, say they're from Minnesota, North or South Dakota, they go to Glendale, Phoenix, Chandler, Mesa, Tempe. They go to the whole Valley. But boy, take it to the bank. New Yorkers and New Jersey, it's always Scottsdale. They think
and just hanging out in Old Town.
Yeah, I wonder why they love Scottsdale 10-1 over anyone from Minnesota. But you liked ASU?
Yeah, it was great. We had a pool in our dorm.
If you sell 100 million of these toothbrushes, are you going to get a home out in Scottsdale too for the winters?
Yeah, I got 100 million. I think I could do that then.
You think you could do that then?
Yeah.
So how long have you been live, and how's sales going, and how's all that doing?
So we launched back in October 2016. So only call it 9 months ago. And when we launched, it was largely on the consumer, just focused on the consumer side. And I think you mentioned this earlier. We're pretty fortunate to receive some great media coverage in some of those media outlets, and that actually drove a lot of inbound interest from dentists. And so over the last 3 months, we've really been building out that side of the business and finding ways that we could be a great partner. And so, it's great that we have these two customer bases that really love the product and the subscription.
What are these two customer bases?
So the direct to consumer, and then our dental partners.
Direct to consumer. You call that direct to consumer? Is that also B2C or
yeah,
or direct to consumer? So you got a direct to consumer, and then you got a B2B. You got a B2C on the website, and then you got a B2B through the dental partners. Dentaltown has 250,000 dentists and hygienists. We have 52 categories. One of them is hygiene, and under hygiene, you should start a thread. Every business is allowed to. Everybody can have one thread that says where they're going to lecture next, or touting their lectures, or their online courses, or whatever. But you should go in there under, under hygiene. There's flossing, fluoride, halitosis, hygiene discussions, hygiene hand instruments, scaling toothbrushes, manual and electric. You should start a thread on toothbrushes, manual, electric. And if you're embarrassed because you think it's self-promotional, just say you just did a podcast day with Howard, and then Ryan. Then when we post his podcast, we could drop in that thread and just say Howard wanted me to come on and tell you what I'm doing, because I think that, like, say, I think this is a neat play. I mean, it reminds me of the Dollar Shave Club. And like say, whenever there's only two people in there, Gillette and Schick for razors, they're expensive. Duracell and Energizer for batteries, too expensive. Oral-B and Sonicare. It's kind of an oligopoly. When one person has the whole market, it's a monopoly. When two people have the majority of the market, it's an oligopoly. And you're this new low-cost business model that's disintermediating the middleman, selling directly to the consumer from your website. And I like this subscription where all the toothbrushes being used this morning around the world are non-functional because they're all worn down. The brushes are frayed. You almost never see a working toothbrush in anyone's bathroom. So I mean, you should get on Dentaltown and talk about it.
Yeah, we definitely will. we're definitely trying to spread the word in the dental community. As we mentioned, we're pretty new, so Dentaltown is obviously a great way to get in front of a lot of smart dental practices.
Yeah. So so you had a lot of initial press in GQ and Vogue. How'd that go?
It's good. It's a great way of building up, some initial brand awareness, and then since then, a lot of the growth is coming just word of mouth of our customers telling their friends about it. You look at our Facebook reviews, I think I'm still blown away by the reception. It's basically only 5 stars, and people telling us how they go to the dentist for the first time after switching to Goby, and the teeth have literally never looked so clean. This is the words of the dentist. So that's been amazing to see. It's just the reception from consumers and the different dental partners.
So, your dental partners, when you start that thread, whenever there's a thread, there's a button there, forward. So you can forward that link to that thread to a dentist. You should mail that to your forward-thinking dental practices, see if they could chime in on that thread and share their experience. But any dentists that I would know, or are they all around the New York, New Jersey area?
All over. Do you know the guys at Lydian Dental? They're in Arizona.
Lydian Dental. Can you find that for me?
They're really nice modern practice.
How do you spell Lydian?
Lydian.
And they've been using you guys for?
Yeah, they've been a great partner. We have partners here in New York, California, a number in Texas, a couple in Florida. It's really, at this point, it's really all over the U.S. It's Seattle.
Is it any non-U.S.? Or is it hitting Canada or anywhere else? Or
today we're only focused on the U.S. In the future, we may expand to our neighbors up north.
And is that just where you're target marketing America, or are there logistic issues on the website where you really don't want to do business in Canada?
It's a combination of both, but really what it comes down to is we want to just be focused today, and it's not like we're very early stages, and we have made the smallest of dents in the U.S. market, so there's a lot of opportunity to grow there before we need to go rush into other countries.
Right. Usually when you talk to the CEO of any dental companies around the world, they'll tell you that the United States is 40% of their business. And I remember in the beginning when Patterson went public, in the very beginning with Pete Frechette was the one who took it public, and Henry Schein was branching out all over the world, and he said, look, for the first decade or two, he goes, there's more business in America. He goes, we don't need to go anywhere else. I think Patterson was probably a 20-year-old company before they even went to Canada.
Sure.
And he said, there's 211,000 Americans who have an active license to practice dentistry. Why do we need to go, to Australia with 20,000 dentists, or Canada with, I think, how many does Canada have? 35,000 dentists, something like that. But yeah, America is just such a huge market. Yeah, I found that Lydian Dental, her last tweet was, if a patient cannot clean his teeth, no dentist can do it for him. And that is that speaks volumes of truth, doesn't it?
Yeah, they're really interesting guys. They have maybe 2 or 3 offices now, but it's very modern.
Who, Lydian Dental?
Sure. Yeah.
Oh my God, they have locations in Arizona and Texas. Holy moly, Josh Turnbull. Oh, I know Josh. I had to see his face for it all ring a bell. Okay. Very, very good. So Josh Turnbull's in on this. He's a very smart guy.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. No,
go ahead.
Yeah, I was just saying that they're just taking that really forward-thinking approach to dental care and really trying to optimize for the best patient experience. And that's how we found there was a really good fit partnering with us. Is we have a similar approach. Is really focused on delivering great experiences.
Now, is he using it as an economic incentive for a new patient, or is he this for current? How is he actually using it?
Yeah, so I think they used it as like a new patient welcome to the practice, almost like a promotion, but as part of just elevating the experience when the patient comes into the practice for the first time.
Well, I just emailed you at ben@goby.co, and I
Hmm.
and CC Josh,
Uh-huh.
and that'd be neat if um, Josh could go on Dentaltown and post exactly how he's used it. I mean, does he use it on his flyer? Is a promo piece on his website? I mean, you
Hmm.
know the logistics how he's using this to promote
Yeah,
new patients.
I think they've done flyers with Goby potentially in the past. You know, they seem to be pretty sharp marketers too, and so I think they've tested a couple different channels, but I don't know the exact specifics of what they're doing with it today.
Huh. Well, see if you can sweet talk him into sharing his secret sauce on the website.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, marketing dentists are always they always want more new patients. I mean,
Hmm.
there's so many dentists who believe that the patient flow equals cash flow, and no matter how messed up your office is, no matter how dysfunctional your team is, no matter how horrible your hours are, I mean, you can just erase all your problems if you just keep getting in 20, 30 new patients a month.
Yeah,
They don't seem
yeah.
to want to focus on fixing any of their structural problems to keep their patients for life. And by the time
Hmm.
the average dentist gets to 5,000 patients, 4,000 of them are inactive and are gone.
Hmm.
They so instead of really focusing on 5-star customer service every single patient every single day, like the Ritz Carlton, it's just a lot easier strategy to say I'm just going to really get an A in marketing and just keep a flood of new patients coming in, even
Yeah,
though 4 out of 5 will never come back.
yeah. I mean, I think their approach is they're new, so that they obviously have to get new patients in the door, but it also seems like they're focused on once they're in their door, make sure those patients don't leave, and that's by delivering these great experiences for them.
So, how long did it take you to design this toothbrush?
Nearly 2 years. So I started working on this. Probably the initial idea came up in November 2014, and it's a long process in building a great product and getting some really smart people on board to help develop the product.
I mean, every detail from the bristles. I mean, that's a science in itself.
Yeah, yeah. I've actually gone and visited the factory in Germany where our bristles come from. Gorgeous factory out there. They do an amazing job, and it's all automated. It's a sight to see.
And so, is your toothbrush made in Germany?
Assembly happens in Southern Asia, but our components come from all over. Some bristles come from Germany, our motors are from a Japanese company, and then we have a warehouse here in the U.S. that we do our fulfillment out of.
And Southern Asia, what is that? Cambodia, Malaysia?
No, in China.
Oh, okay, Southern China,
Yeah.
near Shenzhen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love that place. I love Shenzhen. So you go there often?
I've been there a number of times. Not as much now. We have a team out there actually based in Hong Kong, so they're way smarter than me, and they know what they're doing.
Yeah. So that is a long flight. I mean, from New York
Mm.
to how long is New York to Hong Kong?
I think it's like 16 hours. I've gotten way more comfortable with that flight than I would like. Last year I was out there a ton.
Yeah, that is a long flight. I just flew 16 hours yesterday from Sydney to LA, and then had to connect an hour to Phoenix. But yeah, I like China. I really, really do. I mean,
Hmm.
when I go to Hong Kong and I go into Shenzhen, it seems like they love Americans. They're all nice. They're all working. They're all clean. I think it's one of the greatest civilizations
Yeah.
around.
Hmm. Yeah, they're really good. There's some really talented manufacturers out there that deliver some amazing products. That's where Apple products come from. They're just really good manufacturers, and they have all these resources around them that help focus on delivering these great products. Now, it helps to have experience in navigating through those manufacturers, and that's why we have our team out there. Is because if you don't know what you're doing, it can go south very quickly.
What do you mean by that?
If you don't have the right quality controls in place, things can you could have. It may look good at first, but quality can slip over time. It's just making sure you have people on the ground and are really focused on constantly improving the product.
The funniest thing I think about China is I'm gonna put you on the spot here, Kate. Name Okay, China has a 3,000-year history with 13 dynasties. Name one of the dynasties.
Oh man, the Han Ming dynasty.
Well, there's the Xia dynasty, Shang dynasty, Chao, Qin, Emperor Shi Honggaide, Han dynasties. But the point I'm making is this: going all the way back when I'm trying to, no American can name any of their emperors from any of their 13 dynasties. And in my experience, when I'm talking to Chinese dentists, same thing. Not one of them could name one U.S. president. Not one of them would know who George Washington is. But it's so funny. So I get this deal when I meet Chinese dentists, I say, okay, what do you think of? Like when I say I'm from the United States of America, like what do you think of when I say United States of America? And they all say the same thing. They only mention food things. They say, Hershey's Bar, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Kentucky Fried Chicken. They only name things you can eat. It is so hilarious. That is their association with America, is we just make great things to eat. And they don't know who George Washington is. And American dentists can't name one of the 13 dynasties from China. Like, gosh darn, man, those people, they just seem to all be smiling, all be happy. They're just so nice. They're so helpful. It is truly one of the greatest civilizations that I've ever visited, and I love that place.
Have you been out there recently?
Yeah. I've lectured for Modern Dental, Hong Kong, and also their dental school is, I think, in Hong Kong is the most intelligent dental school, because in America the number one cost is labor, 28%. Number two is lab at 10%, and the American dental schools have all closed down their laboratory chain. So so all these laboratories, imagine what would happen in dentistry if there were no hygienists. And what would happen if all the dental schools stopped graduating hygienists? And the dental school in Hong Kong, they have twice as many students in the dental laboratory diploma degree as they do the dental degree. I mean, they're very forward thinking. I mean, the secret to building a great manufacturing economy, like in America, all the colleges are based on teaching you degrees in English and philosophy and law and social studies and all this crap. And you go to Germany and Japan, they're very focused on the trade. So they would be just as serious in Germany and China after high school, teaching you how to be an electrician, a plumber, work construction, all the trades. And those kids come out of school, and if you want to be a welder or a plumber or any of these things, they're just as serious about teaching you how to be a plumber as America is on teaching you how to get a marketing degree and be a lawyer. So that I just think there's a lot of lessons Americans can learn from China. So anything else you want to talk about, or did you cover all your bases, or did I miss anything? Or
I think one thing we haven't, I don't know that we mentioned is, as part of our goal of making premium oral care more accessible, we realize we obviously priced Goby as affordable as possible, but we also do donate a portion of our sales to dentistry programs that help provide dentistry to people both domestically and abroad. And right now we're partnered up with NYU's Dentistry School, their global outreach program, and they do an amazing job. So that's really helping us achieve our goal of just continuing to make premium oral care, or just oral care, more accessible to as many people as possible.
Nice. I didn't even know NYU had a global dental outreach program.
Yeah, their dentistry school.
It's what?
It's under their dentistry school there.
So they send the dental students out around the world on missionary dental trips?
Yep, they go everywhere from Nepal to Ghana, I believe, and then also here in the U.S. too.
Now, the dental school up the street from me here in Phoenix in Mesa is AT Still. And it is amazing how they send kids to Mexico and Tanzania, and they send them to all around the world. So that is an interesting program. So do you know who the dentist that heads that up is? Or?
Yeah, Dr. Stuart Hirsch, actually. He's I think he's been running it for like 20 years.
Really? Well, that would be an amazing podcast. Will you send him an email and CC me, Howard@dentaltown.com?
Sure. I'll shoot him a note.
Because I've gone on some of the trips with the local AT Still students, and I think it's very spiritual. I mean, when you leave America and you think you got all these stresses and you're trying to be a dentist and all this stuff, then the next thing you know, you're in a village with 5,000 people that don't have electricity, running water, or sewage, and you start realizing that you shouldn't be as stressed as you think you are. Life is better than you realize. And then to see those people down there, it's just amazing how, like, when you go to Mexico and the mothers line up in line with their babies with toothaches before the sun goes down, and they stand there in line all night long waiting for just a chance to show their baby to a dentist from America. And a lot of those nights, the rains are just pounding rain all night, and we're sitting up there on the up on the porch drinking beer, listening to music while you're staring at hundreds of people standing in line. I mean, it's just crazy. It's such a good spiritual reorientation of getting your head screwed back on right. And I always think when people get too detached and they've lost their focus and they've lost their meaning and they don't know what they're doing, or they're not happy or whatever, they need to go to a third world country and fix teeth for 5 days, whether it's in Haiti or Africa or Central and South America, and they really, really come back and get your head on straight. And I've always taken at least 1, 2, or 3, or sometimes all 4 of my boys with me. And I'll never forget the first time I took them down on a Mexico trip. We were down in this village of 5,000 people, no electricity, no running water, no sewage. And my oldest boy, Eric, was 6. Do you remember what he said? Yeah, you remember? And Eric's looking around and goes, he says to me, he says, "Dad, how come they don't have trampolines?" And in his walnut brain, what he saw was missing was trampoline. He didn't see that they were missing also everything else. He just noticed they were missing trampolines. And I thought that was so damn cool that a 6-year-old just saw the trampoline and not all the other things. But so anything else?
Yeah, I think we mentioned this at the beginning. We're always looking for new dental partners and finding ways we can work together, and we want to always be helpful as possible. So, feel free to reach out to us through our website, or you can always email me directly. My email is ben@goby.co. But we're really trying to expand within the dental community, and obviously Dentaltown is a great outlet with a lot of really smart dental practices that are very engaged. So I really appreciate you making time for you to chat.
Well, hey, go into Dentaltown and start a thread under hygiene. Yep. And tell them Howard did. And then when this comes out, Ryan, let's drop this podcast in that thread. And I think when I saw this, I reached out to you. You didn't reach out to me. This isn't a commercial. You didn't pay for an advertisement. I reached out to you. I immediately thought of Shark Tank. I thought of the Dollar Shaver Club. I thought, kudos to you. This is great. And I wanted to jump out and help you. And I hope you crush it. It sounds like it's going to be fun. And I also got to help my homie from ASU.
Yeah, I really appreciate it all. It's, of course, another fellow Sun Devil at the...
if you would have went to U of A, I wouldn't even have talked to you.
Yeah, you would just bash me on the whole show. You would have a show without me, just hate on the product. And hate
speaking of U of A, if you got a kid, if one of your kids doesn't have any money and can't get student loans, if you just drive real slow through Tucson, they'll actually throw a U of A diploma in your back seat. Just leave your windows down, drive slow through Tucson. You get one of those U of A degrees. You should be able to get one on eBay or Amazon for under $1.
It's always great to have backup options.
Okay, well, congratulations to what you're doing. I hope you crush it, buddy. And this was Dentistry's version of Shark Tank, getting you on the show, explaining to everybody why they're commuting to work. And I do. The only secret to lower price, lower cost, disintermediating the distributor, the middleman, the Walgreens and the Walmarts and the all that stuff. Sell direct to your customer. I love the changing the head subscription. I noticed you could change your head every sign up for 1, 2, or 3 month.
We give the option. We don't want to force people into anything, and so we let people choose.
Yeah, but okay. Well, best of luck to you, buddy. I hope you crush it.
Thanks again. I really appreciate it.
All right, have a good day.